Makes sense. Like, we fire up the stream and there's just like 16 injuries. Like, okay. We try our best, guys. We really do.
Everyone's up for rest because they're soft.
What's that?
I said they're all out for rest because they're soft.
Yeah, everybody's soft, including myself. I was out for rest last night, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to this 9-game NBA slate breakdown. Happy Valentine's Day to every single person watching us. Cannot wait to break this down now, specifically because of all these slate breaking injury news that we just got. TJ, did you even get a chance to do Drummond?
I'm doing the Pistons right now.
Okay.
And then I will do Drummond, but hello, Jared.
Yeah, it's going to be Jared Allen Chalk Night for sure. And we're going to be breaking down the games here in just a second. Let me know what happens with Detroit, TJ, because against the Pelicans, that shouldn't impact them too much. Jeremy Grant? Okay, $7,400. What's his projection?
Well, at 36 minutes, 2.2% usage bump, 1.29 fantasy point per minute, 47.46 is what I have him pegged for.
Okay, so that's a 6.4 point per dollar value. Given that it's a lower, I guess, pace matchup, I don't think it really matters for somebody like Jeremy Grant just because he's a high usage guy. Just with him going up and down the court so often, him being a high usage player, really shouldn't impact him that much. 14.4%, we're definitely going to see that ownership go up a little bit, guys. 7.4K, I think that's going to make for some great chalk. Anybody else that pops for the Detroit Pistons, TJ?
I want to wait and see what the minutes fluctuate to. But right now, like DeLon Wright becomes a decent play.
Okay.
I would assume a guy like Sadiq Bey might sneak into the starting lineup. I kind of want to see what they have for a lineup here, Matt, before we kind of dive in.
Right.
And I'd rather see these minutes get updated appropriately. For
sure.
So like a guy like Jeremy Grant, his minutes aren't going to fluctuate too much. He could play a couple more with no Blake Griffin now. So yeah, he's the one guy that I would really be looking at, but I think some of these other guys will become intriguing plays.
You want to move over to Cleveland real quick and calculate these guys since we have a good idea of what they're going to look like?
We'll freaking do it live, dude. Let's do it live.
Okay, yeah, let's do it. So they're without, is it just, no, it's Nance, Love, and Delly.
Drummond.
Sexton too?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I don't know why I said Sexton.
I was like,
Delly,
whoa.
Love, Nance, and Delly, Love, Nance, Drummond. Yes, sorry.
Okay. Sorry, guys. I want to make sure we have all the updated information for you guys before we start here, so we have a better grasp on the slate. Nance, Deli, and K-Love. There he is. Do you know we talked about that yesterday, TJ, about how when we're looking up and down a person to take off the court and they just don't exist, you can't find them? Yeah, Kevin Love was that for me.
Yeah, they're just,
they're not there.
It's Ron Prince as well. And then
1.03 with a beast. Taurean Prince just continues. What do you think he's going to get? 30 minutes?
Yeah, 30's probably safe. Garland looks pretty good, honestly.
What a resurgence he's had in Cleveland.
Cleveland, this is for you.
Don't do that.
And then I'm gonna put Allen to like 34 minutes. So yeah,
okay.
I mean all these guys, man.
I'll be a little bit more conservative. Have him on at 40 on the dot. Okoro. Okoro's a beast.
Oh my god, you're gonna throw Okoro in there. I hate when he does this.
0.53 fantasy points per minute.
Trash.
What's Sexton looking like here?
The more people tell me to shave my beard or my mustache, like I hope you realize
you're fueling the fire.
Make me grow it. Yeah, I mean I'm not gonna shave it. So Slothy, you can get bent because it's not gonna happen. It's just plain and simple. Yeah. So Matt, a lot of things shake up as soon as we go live, and that's the way the world works. So now I think we have some other value. We'll wait and see what these minutes get updated to for Detroit and Cleveland, and kind of go from there. Because I mean, Blake Griffin's a guy that plays 28 to 30 minutes. Those need to be dispersed.
Yeah.
28, 30 minutes plus. So those need to get dispersed appropriately. We saw Sadiq Bey against the Celtics last game. 7 threes, Matt. He hung 50 DraftKings points in my face. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens here. In terms
I think,
of minutes.
Yeah, we're gonna wait for those to update. TJ, let's go straight to the chalk that we already have. In terms of ownership, let's go straight to Charlotte against my San Antonio Spurs right now. They are playing at home. Miles Bridges showing 35.1% ownership. LaMelo Ball showing 18.9%. Malik Monk also showing some. TJ, which ones are your favorite cash plays? We're gonna ignore all the rest of the injury news and just assume that we didn't hear any of it. If you had to target anybody on this team right now, where are you going?
So I get the Miles Bridges 5,100 like playing minutes in the ownership. It makes sense. He rates out decent on the sheet, Matt. We haven't pegged for 27.2 DraftKings points, but nothing that really gets me going here. Rozier actually shows the best on the sheet with no Hayward. And what I had to do, all I did was take off Hayward and PJ Washington. I left both Kobe and Caleb Martin on the floor because their significance in terms of usage isn't too great, and their minute sample size wasn't too high either.
Right.
And we really didn't have too great of a sample size with all 4 of those guys off. So what I did, I took off the 2 guys that are starters in Hayward and PJ Washington. And Terry Rozier actually looks the best. 5.6% usage bump with just those 2 guys off the floor. 1.08 fantasy point per minute. 28.3% total usage, so highest on the team. I have him right now pegged for 43.34 DraftKings points, and that scares the absolute shit out of me. But I do like the matchup here against the Spurs coming to town. I think this could potentially shoot out. And again, Matt, we have a tight rotation here. We only have 9 available guys for Charlotte.
We love that.
So I do like Rozier. And if you're landing on Bridges as the last piece at 5,100, I can get behind it. I'll take chances on a guy like Jalen McDaniels in tournaments, playing 22 minutes at the bare minimum of 3K.
But he only played 1 minute last game.
Okay. I think my interest is Rozier and Bridges. People are going to go to LaMelo at 8,700. He's going to play a ton of minutes. So, like, yeah, I like him as a tournament play. I want to wait and see if his ownership pops up a little bit. He is showing lower ownership. I think Rozier is my favorite play, but again, if you're landing on Miles Bridges, he is cheap. He's going to see a lot of minutes, so I guess I can get behind that as well.
Yeah, I completely agree with everything you just said, TJ. Pretty much all these guys should hit around value, assuming that this game does shoot out, which is what we expect. It's just a matter of right. It's just a matter of who you choose out of these studs. There's a lot of them. There's Terry Rozier, like you talked about, LaMelo Ball, Devontae Graham. All 3 of those guys could easily have a ceiling game, specifically in this matchup. I think a lot of people are going to go towards LaMelo Ball, TJ. This is going to become more of a popular play. $8,700. Everybody seems to be a fan of LaMelo Ball and watching him play, especially when he plays starter minutes. So I like the matchup. A couple players. I don't know if you mentioned Bismack Biambo, but he right now he's projected at 23 minutes at a near bottom of the barrel price tag. TJ, and $3,300. We know the Spurs have a very soft front court. Am I saying that right? Is it front court?
Front court, yes.
It's front court, yeah. COVID brain. 23 projected points right now, 6.3 point per dollar value. Spurs just suck down low, and I really like that to be exploited tonight with the Charlotte Hornets. Another player is Cody Zeller, 28 minutes. So those are some very intriguing GPP options as well, TJ. But yeah, for cash, are you just locking in Miles Bridges, or is he going to be your only cash viable player from here, or are you going to go down to somebody like Terry Rozier for cash as well?
I think you can go to Rozier. I want to wait and see what shakes up with Detroit, and obviously with Cleveland, because like at 7,400, I was leaning Rozier, but now I might construct my lineup a little bit different to try and prioritize a guy like Jeremy Grant, both being 7,400 tonight. So priorities, Matt, always. But yeah, no, I think you can go Rozier, and then I think Miles Bridges is going to be pretty chalky. Yeah. So I don't hate either of those guys in cash.
All right, completely agree with that picture. Let's go down to the next chalkiest team on the slate. I think that's going to be the Denver Nuggets as of right now until we get the updated minutes on Cleveland. Let's move over there. Right now, Denver is without Barton, Harris, Whittington, and potentially Jamal Murray, TJ. What's your take on these guys right now in terms of ownership? Michael Porter Jr. showing 25.9% ownership. Is he good chalk tonight?
Yeah, I think he is. No Will Barton on the floor, Matt. We talked about potentially Jamal Murray. Okay, sorry, just getting notifications. So yeah, we do have some injuries there in Denver already. Obviously, Dozier's been out. Gary Harris has been out. Will Barton missing his first game of the year, and then we are penning Jamal. So even with Jamal Murray on the floor, I am looking at a guy like MPJ, projected at 34 minutes right now, Matt. 1.08 fantasy point per minute, 20.4% usage rate, third highest on the team behind just Jokic and Murray. So yes, I do like Michael Porter Jr. It just solely based on the minutes that he is going to see. If this game stays competitive and he plays 36 minutes, like I don't see a problem with him going for 40 DraftKings points tonight. So I do like him. I think he is cash viable. I think he's the only guy that I'm really honing in on in terms of cash until we get news on Jamal Murray. Because like if Jamal Murray's out, then that throws like Monty Morris as a really good cash option at 4,200. I would have some interest in RJ Hampton at 3,400. But yeah, I think it's mostly tournament plays here for me going up against the Lakers and in a really lower over-under that we have on the slate. But I do like Michael Porter Jr. for cash. Yeah,
Monty Morris is actually showing good on our sheet regardless, TJ. So I actually do like him as a GPP play, like regardless of if Jamal Murray does play or not. So then he playing 33 minutes, $4,200. I think he's a 0.87 fantasy point per minute.
You have him at 33 minutes?
I have him at 33 minutes right now, yep. And that's assuming that Jamal Murray does play.
Really?
Yep. I have Jamal Murray playing 37.
I have Morris at 23.
Ooh. It's a big discrepancy.
I don't think.
Well, that would change things up if Monty Morris is playing 33 minutes, and obviously you would like him a lot more, and vice versa. So
I don't know about 33, honestly. Yeah, that's off, I think. But maybe.
Hey, if he does play 33 minutes, guys, I love him. If Jamal Murray does sit out, I think Monty Morris is going to be a better play.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, my God, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, the rest of them are definitely going to be GPP options for me. Let's move along here. Going down, let's talk about this Dallas-Portland game. Really no crazy injuries. On the Portland side, we have the normal injuries from Nurkic and the rest of the crew, CJ McCollum. But the one thing that intrigues me about this matchup, TJ, is the over-under. The over-under is at a 236. Yeah, let's go ahead and hone in on this. Who are some of the people you guys, I guess, who are some of the guys that you like on both sides of the ball here?
Yeah, so Matt, this game could easily shoot out here, and I think there's a lot of good plays, especially in the studs from both of these games. So I'm looking for Dallas, like Luka and Porzingis are the two guys that I really do like. I love Luka for cash. Obviously, he's carrying a lot of ownership. 1.58 fantasy point per minute when these teams are fully healthy, or when Dallas is fully healthy. 36.2% usage rate. I have him pegged for 57 DraftKings points. and the pace of this game that we could potentially see, I have no issue, or I don't see an issue with him being able to pay this off at all.
For sure.
And then Porzingis at 8,500, Matt, showing 2% ownership. I love him for tournaments. Like, I don't think Portland really has anybody to match up with him.
No.
I mean, good luck Canner, or if they like throw Melo on him. I mean, I think Porzingis could have a field day here too. So those are the two guys that I like, the studs. A guy like Tim Hardaway is really cheap at 4,600, carrying a little bit of ownership.
Wow,
I don't
finally he gets a price tag he deserves. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, about time. I mean,
6K range is insane.
Yeah, 5. Yeah, he was in the 5s. Yeah, he was up to the 6. He was like right in the 5s. He got a really big price decrease here. He's 5,100 last game against Pelicans, now down to 4,600. I think that's a little bit more appropriate for our guy, Timmy Hardaway. But
sure.
I do like him in this type of matchup against Portland. But yeah, I think Luka and Porzingis are my two favorite plays, Matt.
And on the other side of the ball, TJ, I mean, you got to target somebody like Damian Lillard, especially if you expect it to be close and competitive. $9,600, very cheap, 19.3% ownership. Would you stack this game?
I think you can. Yeah, I don't see why not, Matt. You know, we did have some value obviously open up with Cleveland and Detroit, so there's going to be priorities there. But yeah, if I can get a Dame and Luka in cash, like I would love that.
Yeah.
$9,600 for Dame seems a little bit cheap. What I did when I ran numbers is I obviously took off the guys that are out in Collins, CJ, and Nurkic, and then Rodney Hood, who exited the game last game on Friday. I actually have him off when I ran my court IQ, and we're looking at Dame, who gets a 2.4% usage bump, 1.44 fantasy point per minute, 33.6% usage rate. So I have him pegged at 53 DraftKings points. And again, in this monster over under, I do like Dame. And then a guy like Anthony Simons would, I think, come into play if Rodney Hood sits. I don't really have too much interest there if Rodney Hood plays. But at 3,800, I do like him as a punt tournament play. But if Hood is out, I think that gives a little bit more of a boost there to Simons. So somebody I would be interested in for tournaments. But yeah, I think you can stack this game. I think it has a lot of potential. Ennis at 7,200. I mean, I like him for tournaments. So yeah, this is definitely going to be a game that I like to target, Matt.
For sure. Completely agree with everything you just said. And I do think that these ownerships are going to fall a little bit, TJ. Well, I wouldn't say with the studs, but with just the overall, the guys in this game. So guys like Hardaway become very intriguing just because it will fall by the wayside with all this additional value opening up. I'd say, TJ, let's go ahead and move on to Cleveland. I think I have some updated minutes. Hold on. Let me refresh. Hold on.
I don't.
I might have lied. Nope, I'm not lying. I have updated ownership for you.
Perfect. What do you have for minutes?
Not ownership minutes. Yep, that's what I have. Taurean Prince, 28. We have Garland, 37.
Okay.
Sexton, 38.
Okay.
Jarrett Allen, 28. I think that's a little low.
Yeah, that's not.
Okoro, 32.
I don't care about Okoro. You can stop there.
You don't care about my boy Osman?
No, what's Steady at 26 or something?
21, actually. I think that's a little low too.
Okay. Yeah. So last game when Drummond sat, that was against Minnesota on February 1st.
They reset my projections. That's rude. All right, yeah,
Jarrett Allen played 35 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's a little low. He's gonna be chalk, guys.
Yeah, I don't agree with that number there. I mean, the only thing that would stop him is a blowout, and we could easily see that with the Clippers.
Sure,
but I think he still plays a lot of minutes regardless.
Maybe
I don't agree with that 28.
Maybe they're putting that 28 projection in there based on the fact that they should get blown out.
That would be interesting. Maybe. Yeah, that could be it for sure.
So let's break down this picture, TJ. So have you gotten a chance to update your projections at all?
Yeah.
Okay. So starting from the top, who do you want to target from this team?
I'm only looking at Sexton, Jarrett Allen, Garland, and Taurean Prince. Those are the only guys that I'm really interested in here from the Cleveland pitcher. Windler's been in the mix a little bit, taken away from Cedi Osman. So like those two kind of cancel each other out. Like Dotson, not interested in. I'm not interested in Okoro. If you want to take chances in like tournament, you can be Matt and go ahead. But I'm only interested in the studs here for Cleveland. So Sexton at 38 minutes. I'm going to put him at 36. We can do 38. I think he can. Hold on, let me check one thing.
He should easily play that much, assuming it stays close.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Okay, so yeah, we'll call it 38 for Sexton. So if we have Sexton playing 38 minutes, he gets a 1.7% usage. These guys off the floor, 0.99 fantasy point per minute, which is pretty low. 29% usage rate, highest on the team. I have him pegged for 38.26 DraftKings points. So I expect that ownership to bump up a little bit. Jarrett Allen is the guy that I want to be targeting. Again, you said Fantasy Cruncher has him at 28. I don't trust that number. I have him at 34. I think that's safe as long as this game is competitive. I think he plays 34.
What was
1.3?
Sorry, quick question. What was the last game that these guys played without Drummond? What was the last game,
Minnesota.
TJ? Minnesota, and that was on the 1st?
On February 1st.
Okay.
Yep. Jared Allen played 35 minutes.
Okay. All right, continue. I'm sorry.
So I do like, hold on, I want it now. I'm checking out the, and that game was 100-98. So that was a competitive game, and they only scored 100 points. And Jared Allen went for 58 DraftKings points.
Yeah.
Why do I keep opening fucking Word? So Jared Allen gets a 1.3% usage bump with no Nance, no Love, no Drummond, and no Della Vadova, who's irrelevant. 1.25 fantasy points per minute. Matt, I have him pegged for 43.05 DraftKings points, so I like him. Garland at 5,600 is an intriguing play as well, Matt. 36 minutes, he gets a 3.8% usage bump, 0.99 fantasy point per minute, 27.4% usage rate, second highest on the team behind Sexton. I have him for 36.99, and then Teron Prince at 4,500 projected for 30 minutes, 2.1% usage bump, 1.03 fantasy point per minute, and a 19.6% usage rate. I have him for 31.55. So I kind of like Cleveland, and that scares me.
I love Cleveland. And I'll tell you another player to look out for too, TJ, and this is just because of the blowout potential. For anybody that is scared of this, one player that is blowout prone is going to be Javale Mcgee. We'll play in those extra minutes. We'll have to play just because they have a very thin rotation down low. $3,100, averaging 1.33 fantasy points per minute, TJ, so it makes for a very intriguing GPP play. Just wanted to throw that on top. Javale Mcgee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. I didn't even think of that. I like that.
Yeah. So he did play 11 minutes, but that was a close game. So that's his floor is 11 minutes. But it is Javale Mcgee averaging 1.33 fantasy points per minute. So even if he only plays 11 minutes, he still should hit his price tag, TJ, which is actually pretty crazy to think about. So I do like those guys. What's up?
We did just get rule that Rodney Hood's out. So
I see that.
I rule, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. So I want to look and see if Simons gets a little bit of them.
You want to wait till those minutes update?
Yeah, okay. It's nothing crazy, but we'll do that.
All right, then. Let's move on. Once we get those minute updates, let's go on to Milwaukee, TJ, because we still have Drew Holiday out, and that still is another good game to target because of the injury news. Chris Middleton, another player that we always talk about, TJ, 20.1% ownership right now, without Drew Holiday on the court. Are you going to be considering him tonight in cash?
He's carrying ownership, Matt. I do like him in this matchup against OKC. If they have the highest over/under right now, the team on the in Milwaukee. Again, rates out very well on our sheet. I have him as a 6.27 value with no Drew, like you talked about, 1.3% usage bump, 1.34 fantasy point per minute. I have him pegged for 48.9 DraftKings points. He had a really good game against Denver, a decent game against Phoenix, and a brutal game against Utah. So take it for what you want, but those are the three games with no Drew. And we've seen Giannis absolutely take over against Phoenix and Utah. But I think, again, Matt, we talk about it every time. One of these two guys is gonna absolutely smash.
If it stays close.
If it stays close, exactly. Yep. So I like Chris Middleton and I like Giannis, honestly, at 10-9. Those would be the two guys that I'm looking at. Bryn Forbes is interesting here. And Brooke Lopez shows really well in the sheet, but I'm not falling for that trap.
He always does.
Yeah, I'll play him in tournaments, but I'm not going to go there in cash. He gets a 2.4% usage bump. He's a 1.02 fantasy point per minute. So I have him pegged for 29.25 DraftKings points. So tournaments for me. And then Bryn Forbes and Pat Connaughton, I think one of those guys could have a really strong game as well. I'll take the starter, and Bryn Forbes projected at 28 minutes, gets a little bit of a usage bump, only a 0.69 fantasy point per minute, but a 19.8% usage rate, third highest on the team behind just Giannis and Middleton. So I think one of those guys between Forbes and Connaughton could have a strong game, especially if this game does blow out. Those two could easily benefit from that. I think DJ Augustine and Torrey Craig could also benefit. But yeah, I'm showing those guys carrying crazy ownership in Forbes and Connaughton.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be that
they're not going to.
Yeah, so I don't know what that's about, but I do like Giannis and Middleton, Matt. Those would be the two guys that I'm looking at.
Yeah, we have two 11-point spreads on this slate, and this is one of them against OKC. That's the only hesitancy I have for this game, TJ. Great. If Chris Middleton and these Milwaukee Bucks do blow him out, well, then you can kiss his value goodbye. I probably wouldn't see him scoring over 35-ish points if that is the case. And one thing we look for, even in cash, is their upside. This does have tremendous. This does have a a tremendous cap on the upside if this game does blow out. 228.5 over under right now. Milwaukee is an 11-point favorite. But yeah, I think that covers all the chalk, TJ, that we were that we possibly had here. I did get updated ownership. Right now we have 41.3% ownership on Miles Bridges. On Michael Porter we have 25.9, Doncic 22.3, and then JaMychal Green actually jumped up here, TJ, at 22.2% ownership. So that's interesting. We didn't even talk about him, but him only projected 23 minutes. Do you think he is cash viable?
He doesn't really rate too well on the sheet, Matt. I think I'd have more interest in if a guy like Jamal Murray is out. I don't know how they'll deploy him with no Will Barton. But at 4,200, he's a 0.94 fantasy point per minute off the bench. So I guess I don't hate him. Punt tournament play for me. I don't think I'm going to go there in cash, though, unless we see him starting.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I was very interested to see that.
But, I mean, they're not going to – they have Jokic, Millsap, and Michael Porter. So I don't see a world in which he starts unless Murray's out and they run Monty at the point and then they put Michael Porter at the 2 and then JaMychal at the 3. I don't know. So if he's going to get bench minutes, then I like him as a tournament play, but not in cash.
Yeah, completely agree. Everything else, guys, that we haven't talked about is going to be a GPP option as of right now. TJ, it looks like Javale Mcgee is showing some ownership and Jarrett Allen is not. So I think that we have to hold off there until the ownership updates, guys. Don't look at the screen yet in terms of ownership. But yeah, I think that we blew
so slow at updating stuff.
Yeah, well, Fantasy Crunch is pretty fast. So
yeah, they're very efficient.
Do you want to break down some GPP plays, TJ, and then we'll move on to some questions?
Yeah, we can talk about some GPPs.
All right. One GPP target I want to talk about that we're getting questions in the chat about. You guys are fired up about Zion and Brandon Ingram for some reason. I don't understand why. Assuming it does stay close, yeah. I mean, Zion, based on what he did last game, I can see why you guys are in love with him. Had a career high in points, I believe. That's what I saw, 36. So congrats to Zion for that. But only dropped 48 points, CJ and DK. It's funny how that works. He broke his ceiling potential of 45 and got 48 and dropped a career high of 36 points. Who do you like for GPP, TJ? Because that's always the question. Brandon Ingram or Zion tonight?
I mean, I do like them both. Matt. I want to see who they're gonna start. Detroit is like Sadiq Bey starting.
Oh, I thought you were about to say between Brandon Ingram and Zion. I was like, are you crazy?
No, well, I mean, they don't have like Sadiq Bey is gonna now try and mark Brandon Ingram, and like that's not gonna happen. So yeah, I understand why people are thinking about that, and like Jeremy Grant gonna try and mark Zion down low. Like that's not gonna happen either. Like he can't hang with him. So yeah, I do understand the thought process there. Why people are on Ingram and Zion picking on Sadiq Bey and Jeremy Grant with no Blake Griffin because Blake Griffin offers some size. So yeah, I can get behind both those guys. I could go there in tournaments. Zion at 8,100. He just doesn't do it for me in DraftKings points, Matt. I mean,
literally career high 48.
Shot 14 of 15 and and still only had 48 DraftKings points. Like, I'll take Brandon Ingram in this situation all day at 8,400. Yeah. He's always my preference. So that would be my thought process as to why people are on them because of the Detroit defense now. A little skeptical there about covering those two guys. So yeah, but I still think I like Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think his upside is just so much better. Brandon Ingram, as of right now, can score a lot better than Zion Williamson. And when I mean scoring, I mean like shooting the 3 ball, getting to the hole and doing everything in between. Zion can just do a couple things here and there. And I think that just because of that, the NBA's quickly adapted to that. I know I'll get a lot of hate for that, but Brandon Ingram, in terms of DK scoring, TJ just has a lot more upside and just has shown that as we've seen him progress here throughout the season. Zion, we've talked about this. Between 38 and now 48 is his upside, TJ. Anything in between there is what we expect from him. With Brandon Ingram, can easily pop up for 50 plus. So, one of my favorite GPP plays there, Brandon Ingram, showing 3.3% ownership, TJ. So absolutely crazy. Orlando still has all their crazy injury news still going on. We still have to wait and see what's happening there. But they always present some GBP upside, especially with Vucevic only showing 5.5% ownership, now approaching 10K, TJ. So yet another good GBP option. This Memphis versus Sacramento game, another great high over under. So definitely like that in terms of GBP.
Matt,
what's up?
I think I want to change my answer. I think I go Zion.
You go Zion. Why is that?
Yeah, Sadiq Bey and Jeremy Grant don't offer the size to cover. It's just not gonna happen.
I don't think they offer the size to cover Brandon Ingram either.
No, I don't
That's
think they do
pathetic.
either, but I think Jeremy Grant is at least athletic enough and Sadiq Bey also, they're athletic enough to somewhat stay with Jeremy Grant. I mean, to stay with Ingram. I don't think it's going to happen with Zion. So yeah, I like Zion 8100.
Okay. I like both of them, but I do like Brandon Ingram a little bit more. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Memphis, great GPP options all the way around against the no defense. Yep, absolutely. Javale, we talked about this before the stream, and they keep resetting my projections. It's really starting to tick me off. What is going on here? I did all this work, and yeah, there's that. Yep, dude, they legit just reset everything. What is going on?
Well, they just added. Okay, they put Jared Allen. Jared Allen at 30. Okay.
Yeah, let me refresh there. But yeah, I think those are my favorite GPP options. TJ, what are some of your favorites?
To be honest, Matt, I haven't been paying attention, so give me a second because McGee just got added. What do you have McGee at for minutes?
McGee at 13. Let me double check though.
Okay, I have 14. They have Jared Allen at 30 minutes.
29 now. So
Jared Allen. Okay, so maybe he's not going to be as chalky as we anticipate. I still do like Garland. I still have some interest in Prince. McGee gets a. What is he? 1.33. Yeah, so I like McGee for tournaments, Matt, honestly.
Yeah.
I like Jared Allen for tournaments, too. If his ownership's not going to show up here,
to go up.
Then, I think it goes up a little bit. But, I mean, if he's only playing 30 minutes, he rates out decent on the sheet. I think he becomes a chalk play. So I'll probably be deploying him in just hopes that this game does stay somewhat competitive. Because if it does, I think he's in a really good spot.
Yeah, keep in mind the Clippers suck against bigs. So that's another, another plus for him.
Yeah. So in terms of tournaments, though, Matt, Nikola Jokic against the Lakers at 10-7 and LeBron at 10-2, like they could easily battle. AD 9,300, very cheap. If that game stays competitive, I like the studs in that game. I mean, if we can talk about like Kawhi potentially playing a competitive game, if that somewhat happens,
like, without Paul George.
He rates out pretty well in the sheet. I talked about Porzingis. I think he's honestly probably like my favorite play in terms of tournaments is going to be Porzingis. I just don't think they have anybody in Portland that can match him. So I think he's honestly probably my favorite. I like John Moran at 7,600. He's not carrying too high of ownership. I love that matchup in Memphis and Sacramento. Javale showing 12% ownership. I really like him against Sacramento down low. I think that's a really good matchup for him. Who else here?
Garland is another great one. I keep landing on $5,600.
Yeah, I like Garland. Yep. Dylan Brooks is kind of intriguing at 5,400.
All those Memphis guys are
against Sacramento. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I can get behind you there with all those Sacramento guys. Diallo, I don't hate, showing some ownership, but his price tag's up there where I think people are going to be off of him. So yeah, I think there's a lot of good tournament plays out there, Matt. Pascal Siakam against Minnesota, I don't hate. So that's some. Those are some that I'm on.
Yeah. We didn't even mention Karl Anthony Towns with a huge letdown last time, only getting the value. Bad. I know he only got the value though. I mean, people want the ceiling games. But yeah, that's another good one. So 4.8% ownership against Siakam. So I do like that matchup as well. And I think that will wrap up our GPP plays. You want to go ahead and go to questions now?
No, you wrap it up. Yeah, let's go to questions.
Okay. All right. Let me get to the questions in the Discord.
Get to the questions in the Discord, Matt.
Dame and Halliburton or LaMelo and Ja? Interesting combo. Yeah, I agree. Horford, Canner, or Val? Okay. Oh, you're saying all three of those. Horford, Canner, or Val and FD Cash. You said Val?
Yeah.
Okay. I do like Horford as a GPP play though too. So, and that's all the questions I have.
Oh. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Let's see here. Griffin out. Sadiq Bey. Yeah, I haven't seen Detroit. They haven't updated yet with. Oh, yes, they did. Finally. All right, perfect. Let's see. Now I can update this. Sadiq Bey at 27 minutes. If he starts, 4,400. Let's see. So 36, 31, 34, 29, 27 for Sadiq Bey. Doesn't really pop on the sheet, Matt, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Wayne Ellington.
Well, how many projection, or what's his projection? Sorry.
20.89. Yeah, guys, don't box score there. Don't box score watch with Sadiq Bey.
Why? Because he's dreadful.
Got $1,000 price increase in that game against the Celtics. He was 7-7 from 3.
I see.
Wow, and drumming out Allentown. Yeah, Nick, I think I agree with you. OG out. Yes, thank you. Mark, drumming out. Yep, music playing. That's how we know it's not just TJ. Yes, Nick, that is a
Wait,
very good way.
You can't put music on your streams?
Move past it. Move
Okay,
past it.
got
Griffin out, drumming out. What are the top plays today? We talked about him. Sergo. We'll keep going though. Brothers Matt and Uncle Rico. What's going on, Joe? Everyone hit that like button. Yes, Waylon, thank you. 224 you in here. Only 27 likes. Appreciate the likes, guys. Yep. Best super draft plays. We'll get to those, AG. I know Matt has some up his sleeve always. Bridges from Chicago in play now. Yep. He is from Charlotte, excuse me. Rozier is game lock. Lowry or Siakam? Give me Siakam, but I do like Rozier. Glad to see you holding on, Matt. TJ, you look like the captain from the Titanic. Aaron, thank you. Booker and Zion or Middleton and Ingram for tournaments? Middleton and Ingram for me.
I'm gonna upload my super draft stuff right now, actually, so I can give you some
live.
answers.
Mar wants the best FanDuel lineup. Matt, you want to give him the best FanDuel lineup?
FanDuel lineup, yes, it's gonna be Javale. It's gonna be Boucher, Jakob Hurdle.
Oh, yes, it is. That's how you find the defense first position. Blake said you guys have had Chris. Probably know that he sucks on defense. He's very bad defensively. Yep.
Who?
Chris Boucher, not a good defender. Very offensive minded.
Yes.
Are you going up against Cat? Do you think Aaron Baines plays more? I think so, Blake. I like that logic of thinking. Zion or Ingram? We did discuss that. James said chill. I was hoping nobody said McGee. Sorry, James. Matt, where do you like to crunch your randomness when it comes to Cruncher, Fantasy Cruncher, when you're running?
Depends on what you're crunching with. If you're using ownership, I usually crank that thing up to 2,000%, so I can get different because everybody else is using 25%. For my projections that I import to our to Patreon, I use about 25 to 50% randomness.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Tommy, TJ, your mustache looks nice tonight. Thank you. Just kidding. Does the Hornets have enough? Yes, they have 9 guys, Clark. Grant on Zion, Bum on Ingram, simple. Yeah, Matt, I think Grant probably covers. Actually, yeah, I mean Sadiq. They're the Sadiq Bey and Jeremy Grant are the same size, so I don't know who covers Zion. So I like the Zion play. Simons or Monty Morris? I like Simons. Unless Jamal Murray is out, then obviously Monty Morris would be the play. Simons didn't really get too much of a minute increase, but I still like him for. Grizzlies Kings game. Bill? Yep, we like to target that. Yeah, Vanderbilt thoughts, DK. He is starting tonight, so that is a little interesting. What do we have him for in terms of price? 3,500. I want to see those get updated before I start throwing out Jared Vanderbilt as a play. But yeah, he is starting tonight, so it's something to keep an eye on. He's at 22 minutes now, huh? I think that's interesting. I think he's an interesting play for sure. Booker, Middleton, or Luka and Gay. I like. Probably. I don't really have any interest in Rudy Gay. But I love Luka tonight.
Got some updated super draft plays, TJ. Yeah, I know you want to hear some too. So,
always.
Oh, you muted. Okay, I was waiting for you. I was being polite.
No, I was
okay.
dying, sorry.
Jarrett Allen has a 1.55% multiplier tonight,
Love
TJ.
that.
So you already know he's going to be one of the top projected guys. Chris Middleton, 1.4. So that's literally not far off. I feel like he's always in my lineup. Middleton is just like a staple in all my super draft lineups at this point.
Yeah.
1.7% multiplier on Garland. We love Garland tonight, TJ, especially given the minutes. So those are some of my favorite ones. And again, you guys can cheat a little bit and look at my screen. But these are the custom projections we have, and I translated them over to Super Draft. These will be adjusted on Patreon, but right now, these are my favorite plays. So.
I like it. Oh, God, hold it.
TJ is dying. You have water, right?
Yeah, I have water. I'm good. Thoughts on Morant? We like Morant, Zach. Any value plays? We'll get to those shortly. Grayson Allen for cash, not for me. Out, but I don't really have any interest there.
Yo, TJ, do me a favor again and pull your mic closer to your face. I don't know if you're cutting out because of your connection or if it's just because you're too far away from it.
It's my Taco Bell connection. Yeah, we've covered that. Okay. Let's see. Norman Powell, a good GPP tournament. I don't hate it with no OG. I think you can go there. Morris, Bridges, Monk, best values. I think you go Bridges there. Monty Morris or Simons, we talked about that. What about Giannis? We like Giannis tonight. It's him
Absolutely.
or Middleton always. That's going to snap. So do like him. Do you guys like? Oh, we didn't even talk about Orlando, Matt. Yeah, you guys got to monitor that situation again.
Oh no, I did for GPP's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Orlando on this West Coast trip, obviously. We got Aminu, Cole Anthony, Ennis, and Fournier all questionable. If those guys are out again, we see another short rotation where, like, I would like Vooch in tournaments, Terrence Ross, Michael Carter Williams, who they said they were going to give light minutes to when he played 28 minutes. Like, okay. So, yeah, those all become really interesting pivot tournament plays because none of those guys are going to carry ownership. If Murray is out, are MPJ and Jokic locked in? Tommy, I think MPJ is locked in regardless if Murray's out. But if Murray's out, then, yeah, I'd have more interest in
100%.
Jokic. I'd probably go to, like, Monty Morris or RJ Hampton. I'd have to look at what Jokic is.
All those guys would be very good plays.
Yeah, for sure. Cash core, Jeffrey, we will get there. Is Monty Morris the best value play?
Not right now.
No, I don't think so. Vanderbilt for cash. He's starting. Yes, Nick. I'm gonna go and check that for Minnesota.
I have a couple questions now, TJ. I'm gonna take over. DeMar looked good if game shoots out. Yes, I do like DeMar DeRozan as a GPP play. The Hornets having 9 players. Could you fade LaMelo and go Rozier and possibly someone else with the thought that Murray putting a body on Melo? Wait, Murray putting, that's a different game. Right, because they're playing the Spurs.
I was saying DeJounte Murray on Melo.
Oh, wait, what?
Spurs are playing Charlotte.
Who's Melo though? Oh, LaMelo. Jeez, I was sitting there thinking Carmelo. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think you can stack up the 2 players from Charlotte and GPP's. Joey, sorry for the confusion. Hey, Matt, sorry, late question. Do you know what Jock Market's scoring settings are? Yes, they're the exact same as DraftKings, except you are penalized for missing shots. Okay, so Westbrook, never a good play on there. That's all I will say. Plumlee.
Never ever, Matt.
Plumlee's expected to be back, yes. Thoughts on Steven Adams at 4.9K on DK? That's a great point. Let me look at him. Steven Adams projected at 26 minutes. Yeah, he's been playing less minutes. That's that's why his price tag has been dipping. I mean, you can take a stab at him. He has a very good matchup tonight. $4,900. Don't mind him.
Hey, Matt.
What's up?
Vanderbilt's a 6.5 on the sheet. The only thing I'm worried about is play along, especially starting. I kind of think his ownership's going to pop up here a little bit, though. He's at 3,500 right now and projected at 22 minutes. And he is projected to he's starting. So I think that ownership's going to pop up. Again, I have him pegged for at 3,500, 22.8 DraftKings points. So I honestly don't hate him as the last piece.
Yeah, you always know me in my minutes. I have to have like over 30 minutes or else I'll have anxiety starting somebody like that. But anyway, if no Cole Anthony, how are we feeling about MCW? MCW still has a minute restriction, correct, TJ?
That's what I just talked about, Matt. They said he was it was his first game back. In over a month, and they said he was going to be light on the minutes against Sacramento. He played 27 minutes. So if he plays 27 minutes again at 4,700, like, yeah, I'm going to like him if Cole Anthony and Fournier and the whole gang's out.
Dude, that team is so annoying. Them and OKC, I just want to punch in the face.
It's because they're on the West Coast trip. Like, guys, he had a 36% usage rate against Sacramento. It's their primary ball. Saw it against State. It was Ross basically played point guard. So yeah, if Michael Carter Williams, there's no Fournier and no Cole Anthony, like, he'll be their primary ball handler again. He'll play probably 28 minutes again.
Jerome, sorry, I just read this random question, TJ. Any super draft videos on how to play? Not familiar, but interested. Guys, super draft is literally the easiest thing to play. You literally just pick the players that you want with multipliers. You follow the projections and you put them into a lineup and you hit submit. It's that easy. Hit the link down below in the description for a 50% match up to $500. It's a slow drip format, so the more you play, the more money you get put into your account. They literally reward you to play. That's the way the promo works. Just hit the link in the description. It will take you directly to the app download. You download and you just play. It's literally that easy. If you guys are hesitant to play, there's a bunch of free contests on there as well. So,
hey Matt.
Yeah.
Can you see the YouTube chat?
I can.
Okay, I'm going to piss my pants.
Okay.
So I'll be right back.
Okay.
I have to pee. I have to.
Okay, I thought you were talking about a comment. Okay. Don't love the SG position. Where should I look? Well, let's take a look at the shooting guard position. We'll start for cash. So for cash, shooting guards, Chris Middleton's a good option. Right now he's showing a lot more ownership than what he was showing at the beginning of the stream. Rozier is another good one from Charlotte. He does benefit without the current injuries. Terrence Mann, nope, not a fan of Terrence Mann tonight. Bryn Forbes and Miles Bridges or Monty Morris and Hardaway for cash. I like Bryn Forbes and Miles Bridges. Bryn Forbes is also showing some ownership as well. DK small GPP, Diallo, Brooks, Porter Jr., Bridges, Jokic, Monty Morris, Grayson Allen, Cantor. Okay, so if that's for a small GPP, I'd get a little bit closer to the cash. You're showing some very low ownership guys in there, like Brooks. Jokic is also going to be very low owned. Same thing with Grayson Allen and Cantor. Bay or Prince? I do like Prince tonight. Prince is actually showing very good on our sheet, fantasy point per minute wise, and he's very, very cheap. I actually think Prince is going to be one of my favorite GPP options on the slate in general. $4,500. He's been playing out of his mind since he's been on Cleveland, so definitely like Taurean Prince tonight for GPPs. Sorry, TJ. Yeah, I was answering a bunch of questions.
Thank you. I'm dying. All right, what else do we have here?
Kenrich
Wayne
Williams.
Ellington. Okay, go ahead, Matt.
Kenrich Williams from OKC.
Off,
yeah,
King.
I do like Kenrich Williams from OKC. I actually like all those guys from OKC because they're all showing very low ownership and they're still benefiting from injuries. Kenrich Williams does show well on their sheet as well, TJ. So I do like him.
Okay, Matt. Go off, Matt. Keep going.
Is Saric from Phoenix a good play? Is he ever a good play is a better question. Saric.
No.
It's projected 17 minutes now.
Yeah, no, it's there. It's a first game back. Well, second game back. Technically play against Philly. I know he played well against. That was just because of game script. I mean, they have him, Cam Johnson, Crowder, Kaminsky all in the mix. So I would stay away from those guys. They're all kind of playing the same amount of minutes. Those low 20s.
Doncic, Halliburton, Bledsoe, Rozier, Anderson, DFS. Wow, you have a lot of people in there. Porzingis, Bridges, Val for Okay, it's FanDuel for FanDuel cash. I don't know the pricing over there.
Who are you looking at?
FanDuel.
Okay.
What do you want me to? What do you mean? Who am I looking at? This is Discord. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, all those players do look good though. I mean, Val, he probably won't be cash viable. Halliburton's always a pretty consistent play. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it, but again, FanDuel, I just don't know the pricing over there.
Tyus Jones or Mclaughlin? Honestly, probably neither. Probably say Tyus Jones because of that game. It's going to be a high-scoring game, I think. Garland or Morris? Garland. Unless Jamal Murray's out. Then
I do like
Is
Garland.
350 small GPP? Yeah, I think that's somewhat small. I like to focus on anything less than 100 people. Yep. But I don't mind the 350 GPP. I think it's somewhat smaller in relativity to obviously some of the monster ones you see.
Still, I would still get smaller if that's a question that's in your mind.
Yeah, you can obviously get smaller for sure, yeah.
So she said.
Sadiq Bey, okay. Sadiq Bey ownership, Matt. Do we have an updated ownership?
Yes, 9.7%.
Yeah. Don't go chasing waterfalls, ladies and gentlemen. Matt, we have Jeremy Grant with the ownership update. He's up to 30% over on Roto, and that's what I figured. Garland showing 23%. So, yeah, I think there's a lot
Jeremy
of guys
Grant,
that are...
22.9 for me.
Yeah, I really like Jeremy Grant tonight now. Okay. Matt, you want to get off a little early because I have a cough fit coming on. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also quite... Yep. Guys, I don't think you realize this, but me and TJ, I honestly think TJ has coronavirus as well. We're literally we've both been fighting the worst viruses in the past 2 weeks. We've been trying our best to put out content for you guys, so we do apologize. I am continuing to put out videos throughout the week. It's been a struggle, but I'm trying to keep it consistent for you guys. So I am feeling better though, light at the end of the tunnel, and I'll continue to put out everything that we possibly can throughout the week, guys. And with that being said, have a great rest of your night, guys. Let's cash. I will talk to you in the Discord.
Oh, man.
Cash core. Saved by the bell. Go ahead. What's your cash core?
So if I were to be giving out a cash core right now, I would be doing my best to get Luka in that game against Portland. I want him at 11-1 as a tournament play. So I like Luka and MPJ. I like Jeremy Grant now at 7,400. So I would go Luka, MPJ, Jeremy Grant, and then I kind of want to give you guys somebody cheaper. But I do like Terry Rozier, and I think Miles Bridges is a decent play as well. So that's kind of my thought process. But you know what, Matt? I think I want to say Garland, but I'm just worried about that game script.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with that. I do like him
for tournaments. He honestly might sneak into my one line. So yeah, I'd go Luka, MPJ, and I'm only going to give 3, Matt. Luka, MPJ, Jeremy Grant. I don't know who my 4th would be.
Okay, I'll give 4, but these are the most obvious ones because they're the top.
I like Middleton.
I do like Middleton too, but game script. Yeah, Miles Bridges, Jeremy Grant, Michael Porter, and Doncic. That's gonna be my cash core. I mean, those are the obvious ones though. So, but yeah, there's the cash core, guys. Let's send it off now, TJ. We're gonna see you guys in the Patreon Discord chat. With all that being said, have a great rest of your day. Let's cash.
Love you guys. Good luck.